Bonjour. Good day. So far from what we've seen, this Liberal government under Justin Trudeau is not responding to the needs of people. We're seeing oil and gas companies make record profits while people are worried about heating their homes this winter. We're seeing corporate grocery stores make massive sums of money. A report recently says they're making $1 million a day in excess profits, while people are having a hard time just buying groceries. We know that greedflation or corporate greed is driving up the cost of living, and nothing what we've seen so far is doing anything to address that. It seems like Justin Trudeau and the Liberals don't have the courage to tackle greedflation, to do anything about the cost of living that's going up, the fact that people are having a hard time paying their bills, and that is being driven up by corporate greed. And we've got proof that other countries are doing something about it. Windfall tax, or a tax on the excess profit of the oil and gas sector, is something that the European Union is doing, the United Kingdom is doing, Spain is doing. So Canada should be doing it as well. And it's really more evidence that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals don't get what people are going through. On top of that, for the cold winter that's coming, other countries have put in place help to families that are going to be struggling. We're not seeing anything so far in the fall economic statement that's going to help Canadians get through this tough winter. And finally, we've got a healthcare system that's in a really rough position. People are telling us, and we're hearing stories and reports of people that can't get care, can't get a doctor, go to an emergency room and have to wait hours and hours, sometimes nearly the full day or longer to get care. Kids can't go to a children's hospital because there's no space left and are having to go to adult hospitals and are still not being seen. And the Prime Minister won't even meet with premiers to talk about healthcare. This is a problem. And none of these major problems are being dealt with in this fall economic statement. And really, it's a complete lack of understanding of the struggles that Canadians are faced with. It's a complete ignoring of the realities of Canadians. And that's a serious problem. We're going to keep on fighting hard. And I want Canadians to know tomorrow, if you receive a GST rebate, you should be receiving double what you normally get. If you don't, please reach out to your local MP's office, because we're here to fight to make sure you get it. New Democrats forced the Liberals to do this. You know, I want to make this really clear. When we put this idea forward, the Liberals said no. We didn't give up. We kept on fighting. The Conservatives said no, but we kept on fighting. We forced both of them to agree. And by tomorrow, you should start seeing that rebate in the mail, and you should be getting some more help to help you get through this tough time. We know that's just a little step forward, and we know there's a lot more that's needed. And I want you to know we're going to keep on fighting to make sure you get the support and the respect that you need. Donc, à ce moment, on a un gouvernement libéral qui est déconnecté avec la réalité des gens. On a plusieurs exemples qui montrent ça. À ce moment, on a une situation où les grandes entreprises pétrolières font des profits records et les gens ont peur pour comment ils vont payer les factures pour le chauffage cet hiver. Les grandes entreprises des épiceries font des profits massifs et les gens ont de la difficulté à acheter les épiceries. Ce qui est clair, c'est la inflation ou l'inflation causée par l'avarice et la cupidité des grandes entreprises contribue absolument à la coût de la vie qui augmente, et le gouvernement libéral et Justin Trudeau n'ont pas le courage de faire quelque chose pour régler ça. Et avec le coût de l'essence, le coût d'énergie qui augmente, cet hiver va être difficile. Il n'y a rien dans cette mise à jour économique qui montre une volonté de donner d'appui aux gens pour cet hiver. Finalement, avec le soin de santé qui est dans une situation horrible, le temps d'attente, le manque des ressources, le manque des ressources humaines, c'est vraiment une situation difficile. Et le Premier ministre n'a pas le courage de rencontrer les Premiers ministres des autres provinces pour avoir une discussion sur comment on peut sauver notre soin de santé. Donc, entièrement, c'est un gouvernement libéral qui ne répond pas aux besoins des gens parce que c'est un gouvernement et c'est un premier ministre, Justin Trudeau, qui ne comprend pas les vraies réalités des gens et qui est déconnecté. Je veux aussi noter demain, si vous recevez une crédit d'impôt de la TPS, cette crédit d'impôt doit être doublé. Et c'est grâce à nous parce qu'on a forcé ce gouvernement de faire quelque chose pour aider les gens. Quand on a proposé cette idée, les libéraux étaient contre l'idée. Les conservateurs étaient contre aussi. Mais on ne lâchait pas, on a continué de mettre la pression et on a réussi à livrer l'aide à vous et vos familles. Et on sait qu'on a besoin de faire plus. On va continuer de se battre pour vous. Merci.
We have no journalists online, so if there's anything else you'd like to add.
Thanks so much. Merci. One final thing I want to put on the record. We have an attack on workers that is unprecedented by Doug Ford in Ontario. And why this is such a dangerous precedent is because if Doug Ford can preemptively contravene and undermine charter rights and attack workers in this way, what's to say that he won't do it again? And other conservative provinces don't do the same thing. This isn't just an attack on some of the most vulnerable or lowest paid workers in our classrooms. This is an attack on all workers. The precedent that's being set would mean that workers across this country will no longer have the ability to negotiate a fair wage. They won't be able to sit down at the negotiating table and fight to have decent conditions at work or pay that helps them put food on the table. That's what's at stake right now. And while I've heard the outrage from the Liberal government and from Justin Trudeau, outrage is simply not good enough. We need to see some concrete steps to fight back. And we've laid out, there are some options. The government needs to take some action. So here are some of the options the government can look at. A reference question to the Supreme Court, or some people are talking about disallowance as a tool. Whatever the response is, it cannot just be outrage. This Liberal government, I am a little skeptical. I think people will understand why, because this is a government that has put in place back-to-work legislation preemptively before even negotiations were able to move forward when it came to postal workers and port workers. And they undermine the ability of those workers to be able to actually negotiate. While it's very different than what Doug Ford has done, it gives me some doubt. So I want to see some concrete steps taken by the Prime Minister. It's not enough to have outrage. I want to see some steps. They've got experts they can rely on. We've laid out some of the options. Let's get it done. Donc, je veux ajouter finalement ce que Doug Ford a fait en Ontario, c'est une attaque contre tous les travailleurs. Parce que si Doug Ford peut briser les droits de la personne, briser les droits de travail dans ce cas, il peut faire la même chose encore dans l'avenir. Les autres provinces conservateurs peuvent faire la même chose pour attaquer les travailleurs. Ça veut dire que à travers le pays, les travailleurs sont à ce moment menacés qu'ils ne vont pas avoir la capacité de négocier des bons contrats, les bons salaires, les bonnes conditions de travail. Donc, oui, j'ai entendu le fait que le gouvernement libéral a des inquiétudes, mais c'est insuffisant, insuffisant de seulement soulever les inquiétudes. On a besoin des actions concrètes. On a proposé quelques options. Il y a plusieurs options et le gouvernement doit agir. Le gouvernement peut avoir un renvoi à la Cour suprême, utiliser le pouvoir des avaux. Donc, il y a des options qui existent. Je sais que c'est difficile, mais c'est une situation difficile où les travailleurs sont menacés et le gouvernement libéral, Justin Trudeau, doit agir. Merci.